Hey guys, and welcome to Vexco Games. This is Covex here, and today I'm in Arma 2, just kind of flying around in a helicopter on Chernarus, and I'm kind of just showing how big the island actually is, because a lot of people don't understand how big it is. Now, I'm not in the DayZ mod, I'm just in Arma 2, but the map is the same in the DayZ mod, just so you guys know. And the thing I want to do in this video is kind of like a let's talk about DayZ and what's going on with the standalone, because I did watch a couple live panels, I guess you could say, on the Eurogamer. I read a couple of the reports of what they're doing. They released pictures, and pretty much everything that they released so far is just pictures of the environment. It's just like houses and what's inside of them, I guess, like furniture, which is kind of lame, but I mean, at least they're going somewhere. So some of the stuff that I actually thought would be kind of important that came out of the video, which I will put in a link in the description below, just so you guys can actually watch it, because it was really cool, all the stuff they talked about, and how Rocket was discussing how much content, or not content, how much feedback they got from the community and what they're actually listening to and how they're going to do the testing in it. So one of the things that they talked about is there going to be two different ways to play DayZ, which that's what they're just going with. They're not calling it DayZ mod, it's just the standalone will be legitimately DayZ, nothing else. Now, the two ways that you'll do it is what I call the DayZ PTR, which you go in there, you can download it, you can test out the stuff that isn't technically final, but they're still working on, and go from there and just play the game. So if they want to do fixes to zombies, maybe add something really unique to the game that they're not sure how it will work in the final product, they'll throw it in basically the PTR and just like show it off, and people can play it and discuss how they feel on it. The other one will be the I guess not the standard, but the established version of DayZ. So it'll be like the legit game, and everything that passes through the DayZ PTR that is finalized will go straight into that. And how they're going to do it is when a patch comes out, they'll hit a button at their side of the process and go out with it and call it good, and then you'll have it patched, kind of like what War Z does. Except they're trying not to do the same thing where they're patching patches to fix them right away. So you shouldn't see a patch for a patch that just happened, which that's actually a really good idea. That more along the lines of the MMO route, like how World of Warcraft does it, which is really cool. So, and on top of that, the one thing that they're focusing on that he said a lot in basically everything is hackers and how they're gonna fix that. They didn't go into like depth detail about how they're going to eliminate hackers, but pretty much their idea is modding, like putting in your own islands and stuff like that, is going to be on the download. They probably won't have it in the standalone or just DayZ, but they'll keep it in the DayZ mod, which they'll still have running, and people can still do what they want with it. So they're not getting rid of it. So if you don't want to buy the standalone and you just want to play the mod, you can still do that. They're not going to stop, just close all that down and call it no good. And that's actually a really good idea, just to keep the mod open for the people who have a big commitment to the mod and don't want to do the standalone. So inventory completely redone in DayZ in the standalone. That's what they announced. They're going to do that from the ground up. All new zombie types. Pretty much what they were saying is frame rate issues were caused because of zombies having, I can't remember the exact term, but having 5 unique features per zombie. So imagine one zombie comes on, that's 5 things that have to render for your computer. Well, if you get 10 zombies on, that's 50 things. Well, what they're doing in the basically Arma 2.5 system that they're using is they're making it so zombies only have 1 instead of the 5. So when 10 zombies are on, it'll be 10 units of zombies. instead of 50. So the frame rate issue should be resolved from that. Probably not 100% perfect. Let's say if you do manage to get a shit ton of zombies on at one time. And just to mention, we just flew over Electro, and it looks really small from up top, but if you've ever been down there, it's actually pretty big. And I think I'm flying over to Chernarus right now, so just kind of pointing out some of the little details. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. So zombies, refixing that, which is good. The one thing I wish they would add, because they are taking feedback from people of what they should look into, and one of them was hordes of zombies just roaming around. The other one was zombies are going to look and react different depending on how well fed they are. I believe that was one of the things they talked about. So if you have a well-fed zombie, they're gonna, I believe, move a lot faster than one that hasn't been eating for a while or hasn't devoured anything. Which actually sounds like a really good concept. It sounds really cool, and I hope they do implement something along that lines. But for survival purposes, medical supplies and how you have to keep your guy alive, how you have to survive in the game is going to change, because some of the medical stuff that they're changing is they're adding different types of fractures to the game. So instead of fracturing or breaking a leg, you can fracture or break a rib cage. I believe they said something along the lines of like an arm, and they're going to put in animations of what your character is going to behave like when you have said broken leg or fractured or broken rib, and they'll do something like that. One of the other things Rocket said that they got a comment of that they wanted to kind of check out eventually, but not prior, like not a big priority, was that if you can harvest wood and you have bandages, why can't you make a splint for a broken leg? So instead of just morphine. And he said that was a really good idea, and it was something that they might look into in the near future, not when the game first comes out, because they do have their main things they're going to actually just work on when the game comes out. So it sounds really cool. UI, I believe they're changing the UI, which is good. They need to, because Arma 2 and DayZ still don't really go together very well, even though I still love the game a lot and been playing it a lot recently. Even with the 1.7.4 patch that came out, it plays a little bit better. But weapons in the DayZ Standalone, or DayZ, they're going to have abilities, or not abilities, they're going to be able to jam or malfunction in some way, or even break. So that means you have to maintain your weapons. So you can't sit there with an AS-50 sniping down in Electro or in Chernarus and just sit there and snipe the entire day and have no repercussions with it. So eventually your weapon can jam. So a crucial moment comes up, someone tries to get behind you and your weapon jams. Well, you're pretty much screwed if they are actually taking care of their stuff. And that's a really cool concept to a survival zombie game, that if you don't sit there and take care of your main stuff that you're using, like said weapons or vehicles, then they're going to decay and not function the way that you need them to. Really cool concept. I do hope they put that into the final project. They talked about players and illness, which goes back to the medical type of situation, that if a player in your group, let's say you're with you, 5 other people, or you and a buddy, and you or your buddy gets sick, well, either you have to fix that and cure it, or he's going to spread that illness to you. You're both going to get sick, you're both going to die. Now in a big group, like a clan, if the clan members go out on their own and one of them gets sick and they don't take care of it, well, they're going to probably have to just kill you. And then on that, they'll either just camp your body and hope you get your loot back, or maybe if it's a strict clan, they'll get really pissed at you and just kind of kick you out because you're being an idiot. So cool concept, spreading illness. Bad food is another one where there's going to be bad food. I'm just assuming that fruits, vegetables. I don't know what other food they're going to put in it, but you can actually find bad food and eat bad food and get sick, because they were talking about doing a animation for vomiting. So that, in my mind, thinks of if you eat something really bad, maybe 10-20 minutes later, you're going to sit there and throw that up. And it's probably going to be noisy, and it's probably going to stop whatever actions you're doing, and you're going to get focused down. Household stuff, I didn't take too many notes on what they're doing for the household. I know he talks about it in the video, which I'm going to put in the link. So there's a lot more stuff with whatever that kind of particular thing was. But I'm just kind of moving on to the new animations, of course. We talked about that a little bit, where they have vomiting, they have new being injured animations or fracture animations that they've talked about. Sounds pretty cool. Chernarus Plus is the technical name for the map. He did say they were either almost or done with how the map's going to look, which makes me wonder why there's not more photos out of it if they're technically done with it. But who knows? Still no release date on the game. Hopefully before they actually do that, they'll sit there and throw out more pictures of later on stuff, because right now it's just houses and furniture. Melee, they're going to work on Melee a lot, because right now Melee is really finicky, where if you get a hatchet, you can be OP with a hatchet if you know how to use it properly, and zombies don't glitch through you. So I don't know what else they're gonna do with Melee. Maybe they'll do what the WarZ community did and do baseball bats with nails in it, or a hatchet, or just new kinds of weapons. We'll modify the hatchet, because I know there is a hatchet in the game, but modify it a little bit so maybe it either swings faster, or maybe you can get a smaller version of it that swings faster but does less damage. I don't know how the zombie damage is still going to work. I'm pretty sure you're not going to sit there and just one-shot zombies. But that's still up in the air. The coolest part, though, with the vehicles, because that's what's up next, the vehicles, when you're sitting there building a vehicle, you can actually salvage parts from other vehicles and put them into one vehicle. So let's say there's a car with 2 good tires and a good windshield or whatever, and there's another car that needs a tire and a windshield. Well, you can go over to that car, rip off the tires, put them onto the new car, and put the new window on, and use that car to drive around. But if the parts aren't completely compatible, the car is not going to last as long as if it was from the same model car. So sounds really cool. That was on the same topic of him talking about crafting, but he didn't go too far into what crafting really was, which it kind of interests me in what that means. Maybe you'll be able to make your own remedies for an illness like the flu, or maybe you can craft a certain type of weapon, maybe combine weapons together to make something like they did for Dead Rising 2. So sounds cool. The other thing was that they were talking about it was supposed to be an end of the year release. Now I don't know if they were talking end of this year release, because it is December right now and I haven't heard anything else about it. But it gets me kind of thinking of what they're going to do, because it should start hitting either a closed beta or out to a certain numbers of people, because I know he said that he wanted to get it out to Notch, and I believe even the Yogscast people, to have them try it and kind of support it. And you know what, on that note, fucking throw me one. Just I will go over it as best as I can and try not to screw up too much on the commentary for it. But that was just kind of it of what stood out to me. There is a lot of stuff that they actually talked about in the videos that I watched and then the stuff that I read that got me really excited for the game. As of it being 100% true of what's going on, I'm not certain. That's just what they were saying. And I hope that they actually end up putting most of the stuff implemented into DayZ, the standalone, which I'm just going to start calling DayZ from now on. And if they don't, then that's fine at first, but I really don't hope they do what they did, or what happened with War Z, because that would just ruin what everyone kind of expected out of it. And the one other thing that I wanted to say is, they're not using Arma 3, but I do have a really strange feeling that someone is going to sit there and code a DayZ for Arma 3. I don't know why I feel like that, but I have a feeling that when Arma 3 comes out, if they can do a mod for DayZ on Arma 3, someone's going to throw that shit out there. And if they do and it works out, then they are probably going to be either suing or really, really pissed. So that's just my speculations for that. But anyways, I pretty much am going to crash this helicopter into the ground, I believe in a second, a big ball of fire, to just end my run around the map. Now that wasn't even the whole map, by the way, guys, so that was almost 20 minutes of me screwing around and I didn't even show it all. But anyways, if you guys like the video, like, subscribe. I might do another one with War Z, but just depends, and I will actually see you guys later. Bye.